Alright, let's talk about Charlotte's Web. So, this is based on the famous book by E.B. White. Um, and it's produced by Hanna-Barbera. So, yeah, and I will say, just to start off, like, the animation is like nothing special, the character designs are nothing special, but, you know, by Hanna-Barbera standards, it looks quite impressive. Like, the animation is impressive by their standards. Like, yeah, may not be Disney, but, I mean, honestly, like, what company that isn't Disney looks that great? I'm just impressed if they can pull off fluid animation at this point. Anyway, so yeah, the story is we have a farm, and on the farm there's a bunch of pigs, and the runt of the litter. So the farmer has to, or he tries to kill the runt of the litter. Um, and I guess it's just something farmers do. I guess there's some kind of necessity. I won't ask for details. Needless to say, it makes me about as sad as it makes the little girl sad. Okay, not as sad as she gets, but So his daughter Fern hears that he's gonna kill the baby pig, and she runs out crying to beg him to spare the pig's life. So yeah, he decides to let her take care of the pig for a while, just to show her what a handful it can be. But she quickly befriends the pig. She names him Wilbur. And yeah, she raises Wilbur for a little while, and then he starts to grow, and so yeah, then the farmer gives Wilbur away to this bigger farm run by what's his name, Zuckerman. Yeah, Farmer Zuckerman. And yeah, there Wilbur meets a couple friends and a couple not so friends. You know, the not so friends includes this snobby sheep guy, and or yeah, snobby father sheep, and this rather greedy, selfish rat named Templeton, voiced by Paul Lynde. So it's the same guy who voiced the scare, or not the Scarecrow. It was Jack. It was Pumpkinhead, and the that Wizard of Oz movie I watched not too long ago. So yeah, it's interesting. He did this right after. Yeah, this is right after the Wizard of Oz movie. It's came out 2 months later, and yeah, I guess his schedule is open enough. I mean, it's yeah. Either way, this is definitely the better movie that he did. And apparently, it was they were originally gonna cast Tony Randall in the part, but decided that they didn't really like his performance as Templeton, so they felt Paul Lynde would be better for the part, and they got him to yeah. So yeah, then but Wilbur also befriends a goose, and also this spider named Charlotte, who okay, I guess it takes a little bit of time before he runs into Charlotte, but um, so I guess what happens is he hears that once he's all good and fat, the farmer's gonna kill him and turn him into food. And yeah, he's really upset to hear this, and that's when he meets Charlotte. And she basically vows to help him in any way she can. You know, so she kind of devises a plan to keep the farmer from, slaughtering Wilbur, and so she weaves this web with some pig written on it. Yeah, she manages to write some pig on the web. And yeah, when the farmers see that in the morning, it gets a lot of buzz around the neighborhood, and yeah, it just kind of goes from there. It's at first, like, the attention kind of wears off, so Charlotte weaves another web, and she writes. So after some pig, she writes terrific, then radiant, and then they take Wilbur to a fair where he's got to compete for, like, the blue ribbon, and the sheep basically tells him that there's a lot at stake, that if he doesn't win, he's probably gonna get killed. So Charlotte writes humble on a web, and the next morning everyone sees the web and they're very impressed, but then they find out that the other bigger pig already won the blue ribbon. But then, there's, like, this parade that starts up, and, like, I guess it's the mayor. He gives Wilbur a medal, and they all celebrate, and, yeah, the farmer swears to keep Wilbur alive until he's, keep him alive as long as he's alive, until he just dies of old age, basically. Then Charlotte, she's done all that work for Wilbur, and I'm not sure if it's because she's just, her life cycle's over, or maybe all the work she did for Wilbur kind of shortened her lifespan, but yeah, she passes away, and but she does lay some eggs before that, and so with the help of Templeton, Wilbur takes the eggs back to the farm, and then they hatch, and then most of the spiders just kind of fly away, but there's 3 runts left behind, and Wilbur takes care of the 3, and yeah, that's the end of the movie. I did kind of, like, picture what happens next. Like, by the end, Wilbur's looking pretty old, so I kind of picture, like, the future where he finally dies of old age, and, like, maybe the 3 spiders he was taking care of kind of, like, mourn him, but he's like, oh, don't grieve, I lived a good full life, and, he finally finds, I guess, solace. He's, he spent all that time, like, worrying about death, and, getting super anxious. He cries a lot throughout the movie. So, yeah, that would be an interesting way for his life to end, just peacefully, and, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of stretching it. I mean, it's just a simple little movie, but I don't know, the fact that it had me thinking about that, I think they kind of ruined that possibly happening by, like, making a direct-to-DVD sequel in the early 2000s, so, yeah, whatever, don't think about it. But yeah, this is, yeah, you know what, this is a very, nice, meaningful, touching little film. I do also have to give credit to all of the voice actors. I think all of them did their job really well. We have Henry Gibson as Wilbur, and he did capture the his characteristics really well. He did a good job capturing his like anxiety, but also his humility. We have Debbie Reynolds, who was like a superstar at the time. Yeah, she died just a few years ago. So yeah, may she rest in peace. But yeah, she's excellent as Charlotte. Very sweet and gentle, and I do also like Charlotte's design. They managed to make a spider both pretty and adorable. I mean, I'm sure a lot of arachnophobes out there are still gonna find her on a little on the creepy side, but I mean, I'm kind of creeped out by spiders, but I wouldn't exactly call myself an arachnophobe. I'm not like so freaked out by them that but yeah, Charlotte. Charlotte still looked adorable for me at least. But yeah, Debbie Reynolds does an excellent job. Paul Lynde does an excellent job as Templeton. I also want to talk a little about Pamela Ferdin. She voiced the girl Fern. So apparently before this, she voiced Lucy in the first Charlie Brown movie, at least, or as well as in two other Peanuts television specials. So, well, anyway, she voiced Lucy before this. I mean, you can barely tell. She sounds quite a bit more mature here. She also was originally going to voice the girl in The Rescuers, but they replaced her probably because she was sounding a little mature by the time they started developing that movie, because even in this movie she sounds pretty mature for well, they don't really specify what Fern's age is. I mean, she has a brother who looks about 10 years old, but he's her older brother. You can tell because he's like a little bit taller than her. Usually, whichever sibling is taller is the older sibling when it comes to young kids. Even though Fern she kind of looks mature for whatever her age is, because she acts like she's 7 to 9, but she kind of looks like she's 12. I mean, to be fair, she looks like Wendy from Peter Pan with a ponytail, but there is a bit of a big resemblance between the two. I wonder if anyone talks about that. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. But yeah, I just want to... either way, Pamela Ferdin did good with what she was given, even if she sounded a little older than the character might have been. But I do want to point out she actually went on to be an animal rights activist, which is very fitting since this movie starts with her saving a pig's life. So yeah, just thought I'd point that out. I was looking through all the voice actors in this movie, and I came across her, and I'm like, wow, that's an interesting bit of trivia that's kind of fitting. So who else? I mean, I guess there's no one else to talk about in particular, but like I said, everyone does their job perfectly fine. They all come together perfectly well. Also, we have music by the Sherman Brothers. So, yep. Yeah, one of the biggest forces in movie musicals at the time. Did a bunch of Disney movies, including Mary Poppins. Yeah, I already talked about them before. But yeah, I didn't love the music in this one, or the songs. Well, well, not all of them. There were a few legitimately good ones. But I think it had their charm, like plenty of their charm. Um, I don't know. I'd say it was a good, yeah, good songs. I mean, out of the songs I like the best in this one, probably the more heartfelt or dramatic ones. Fern sings a song a couple times called "There Must Be Something More." It's a nice little song. Um, let's see. Yeah, the Charlotte's Web song is really nice. Mother Earth and Father Time is probably the best song in the movie. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of charm to the more upbeat songs as well. Um, so yeah, it's and of course by the end of the movie you'll get Zuckerman's famous pig stuck in your head. So yeah. Um, by the way, I do want to point out, like, during the end credits, like, by the end, I started hearing them saying Superman's famous pig. I'm like, it's, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. I'm like, try listening to the song and not hear Superman's favorite famous pig. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but I was just talking about the little things, but I will I will say it's a nice story that deals with like death and just life in general. And sometimes like the little sacrifices we make to help each other, and what Charlotte does to help Wilbur is yeah, it hits you right in the feels. Um, but yeah, and you know what? Wilbur is definitely a character that I can relate to in more ways than one. You know, we're both very anxious. We both dread terrible things happening to us, but you know, every now and then, you know, a Charlotte comes along, and you know, somebody who's willing to stake their life for you, and yeah, that's just a very moving thing, and it's something I very much appreciate about the story. I mean, from what I understand, this is kind of a direct adaptation, or it seems to be a very faithful adaptation of the original book. So yeah, you can definitely credit E.B. White for writing the story in the first place. But yeah, I think this movie does a good job just kind of telling the story with some musical numbers thrown in. And yeah, it's not like one of the greatest animated movies of all time by any means, but I do greatly appreciate it for what it is. And yeah, and I don't know if there's really anything else to talk about, but I don't know. I think at this current point in my life, when I'm constantly worrying about what the future holds for me, and having to rely on those close to me in order to get through these rough times. I feel this, watching this movie now meant a lot to me, and yeah, I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, for that, I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie an 8 out of 10. And yeah, it's kind of a slow movie. It's, there's not a whole lot happening like a lot of other animated films. So, if what I've been talking about sounds like something that might bore you, maybe this movie's not for you. But I don't know if it's something that does, if you feel, yeah, if you feel you could use something in your life, something, or if there's something this movie might give you that means something to you, then yeah, definitely give it a watch. It's a pleasant, nice little movie, and yeah, I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, watch it if it sounds at all interesting or meaningful for you. So yeah, and as usual, if there's anything else I feel I need to add, I'll put it in the comments, and I'll just leave it at that for now. So yeah, mash it and smash it signing off.